Hey everybody, welcome to Big Balls Fantasy Football, the only show with powerful picks, sexy super fans, and that's really fun. I am your host, 20-year fantasy veteran and diehard Bear fan, Greg Reifstick.
And I'm your co-host, a 10-year fantasy veteran. My name's Jenilee Borek, and together we are the beauty
And the beast
of fantasy football experts.
The Bears kicked some ass this week against the Jets, didn't they?
Oh yeah, that's right. We are now 2-1. We've won 2 weeks in a row in prime time. Maybe we should play every game in prime time.
I mean, Trestman's great in prime time. How many primetime games have we won in a row? 7 now?
I think so. I think Cutler has won, I believe, 7 Monday Night Football games. I think this one made it 8. So.
We're going to talk a little bit of Bears in just a moment, but first, speaking of sexy super fans, this week we went out to the bars to see you fans and hung out at Tequila with some really fun Seahawks fans. We also went to the Outpost and hung out with some Broncos fans just to get out there with you fans and get the vibe. We talked a lot of fantasy football. For goodness sake, we even ran into somebody from the NFL Network. What?
Yeah, it was a fun Sunday. There was a ton of football. Our Bears obviously didn't play till Monday night, so we just got to relax and watch all the games, and oh my goodness, we just had a blast.
Sunday fun day out in Hollywood, football Hollywood style. You got to do it once in your life. It's just endless. It's so much fun. But Jenilee, why don't you give us the fantasy wrap-up on the Bears?
Yeah, so fantasy-wise for the Bears, Brandon Marshall did not at all get it done. I think he only had 1 catch in the game, so that was very surprising, but he did re-injure that ankle that was already bothering him, so that was a big problem for him. Alshon had a great day. He went 8 for 105 yards. No touchdowns, but hey, he went over 100 yards. Martellus Bennett went 5 for 54 yards and 2 touchdowns. He balled out on my bench.
Yep.
I didn't have him in, so
he was on your bench?
He was on my bench, so that was a mistake for me.
Smash had her, though, in one of her leagues, and she did really well with him. She was going crazy
she had him playing against me, actually, but I still beat her, so sorry about that, Smash. And then Cutler had 23 completions for 225 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. I'm loving this the last couple weeks. No interceptions. He did have a fumble, but that was on a sack. So
the deal with that sack was the guy came completely untouched, and at least he held onto the ball long enough, but they just tapped it out right before he hit the ground. But hey, Jay, when you have a guy like flying towards you, sometimes that's just going to happen.
Yeah, he got hit more in this game, and that was going to happen with the Jets defense. Yeah. They're great, and their front is so good. Another fantasy bust was Matt Forte. I think he only had around 33 yards or something like that. So, but we did tell you that he was going to have a rough day against the Jets' run defense.
I had him on my bench. I put him on my bench. Everybody should have put him on their bench.
And the Bears' defense has been playing better. They're not playing completely lights out by any means, but they did hold the Jets to 1 touchdown in 6 possessions in the red zone. And they got some turnovers. Kyle Fuller had an interception, and also Ryan Mundy had a pick 6, and there were a couple fumbles. So if you do have the Bears in fantasy, I know a lot of people probably don't own them, but they got you some points if you did have them this week.
Kyle Fuller has 3 picks for the season, and that is the most in the league. So, hey, if you want to go and take a chance, you want a ballsy pick, we're not even going to put him in our picks this week. We're going to tell you right now. You might just want to look at the Bears. You never know.
Hey, they're starting to look a little bit more like the old Bears defense. 3
balls. We'll put it on the 3 balls out of 6. We'll put it halfway up there. So, also this week, it's Week 4, so it's bye week time, and a lot of you have already gotten ravaged by a lot of injuries. So it's some of you, at least in one of my leagues, I looked and went, oh shit, I have 4 players on bye. But what you should have done, like I did, is you have some backups. They're not going to go spectacular for you, but that's why you draft good backups so you can plug them in. But if you didn't, we're going to help you out this week with your picks.
Yeah, I have one league that I have about 6 people on a bye. So I am going out there. I'm going to be trying to pick up some people, but
I think your first pick says it all. Your 3 balls pick this week is kind of going to tell us which league that's going to go into, and she's going to hope that in the waiver order she gets to pick him up. But we have the Seahawks, we have the Broncos, we have the Browns, the Bengals, the Cardinals, and the Rams. The Rams not a big problem, but all the rest of those teams have very quality players that are going to be out of your lineup this week. And I know a lot of you, especially with the Seahawks or with the Broncos, and I mean, even a few, not really with the Browns, but the Bengals, you loaded up on some players in the draft, and now you're having to scratch your head a little bit.
Yeah, and some bye weeks only have 4 teams off, and this one obviously has 6 teams off. So it's going to be it's a tough, interesting week 4, I think, in fantasy.
I think the NFL knows that fantasy has gotten so popular, and I think they just here's my conspiracy theory: all the injuries and then 6 weeks. Are you kidding me? Come on! And then you have your players mess up. No, I can't go that far. Anyway, well, cool. Let's get to our picks this. Oh, actually, no. One more thing. What team are we playing this week, Jenilee? What team are our wonderful Chicago Bears playing this week?
We are playing the Packers, but we get to play them at home. So I'm hoping, we've been on the road the last couple games. We haven't won at home yet this season.
Right.
So I hope this is going to be our first home win.
Yeah, we'll be back over at the Tin Horn, and it's just going to be a rough week. At least Prost won't be there to jinx us, but I know he's going to be putting the whammy on us. I just know it. But screw you, Prost. Bears are going to win this week. Any score prediction, Jenilee? Off the top of your head?
I don't think it'll be super high scoring. So, I'll say 27-24.
You know what's funny? I think 27s are coming up a lot. I was going to say, and I will agree with you, let's go 27-24. Let's agree to agree on that. That's the official Big Balls prediction. So, screw you, Prost, again. Damn it. At least, you get some Packers fantasy points if you got them. That's the one thing that sucks about fantasy. You have to play players against your team.
I have Cobb in a league. I got to play him.
I do too. It's fucking evil, this fantasy stuff. Okay, now we're really going to get on to our picks this week. I think I'm going first this week.
Yeah, Beast Mode is first.
All right.